really looking forward to the new relationship and our new large shareholder in Glencore. They've certainly given the company a significant endorsement on our assets. Effectively, the due diligence by the world has just been completed by one of the largest copper producers in the world.
Joining us for a conversation is Christian Easterday, the CEO of Hot Chili Limited. Mr. Easterday, welcome to the show, sir.
Hi, Morris. Great to finally chat again.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you on the program, as Hot Chili Limited is having, simply put, a banner year. As throughout the year, it's been one success after another, as Hot Chili has released a string of successful press releases to advance the massive Cortadera copper gold project. Before we delve into the exciting news you have for current and prospective shareholders, Mr. Easterday, please introduce us to Hot Chili Limited and the opportunity the company presents to the market.
Thanks, Morris. Yes, well, it's been a very exciting time, not just in the copper space, but for Hot Chili, as we really transform ourselves from a copper exploration company on the coastline of Chile to a full-fledged, very significant copper developer. And now very, very pleased to be welcoming Glencore as our largest shareholder through their participation in our recent $40 million capital raising, which was just announced during the week. Obviously, none of this has been possible without the string of successes that we've had at world-class Cortadera porphyry discovery on the coastline, which has allowed us to consolidate a major copper development hub sitting on the Pan American Highway right next to a port 600 kilometers north of Santiago in Chile. So we are certainly hitting our straps after announcing our maiden resource last year, where I did my last interview with you, Morris. We now have some 750 million tonnes at about 0.5% copper equivalent in open pit and underground resource base. And that Cortadera discovery, which is one of only two major copper discoveries that the world has seen since 2014, is really seeing some significant growth in our drilling, and we've been able to put out a number of further world-class intercepts as we expand that resource base and look to really take our combined asset to over 1 billion tonnes, and hopefully we'll be looking to put that out later in the year.
Sounds exciting, sir. Let me ask you this. You referenced the $40 million funding. Can you go through the details for us on this landmark transaction, please?
Sure. Well, we've certainly been very busy in staging the next steps for Hot Chili to really align ourselves with the rest of the copper porphyry developers in the Americas. Currently, we're the only major copper porphyry player that is not listed on the TSX and TSXV, and we're looking to obviously dual list the company in the coming months over on the TSXV in Canada. So a very exciting time as we transform the company and look to align to a really a set of copper developers which are seeing market capitalizations in the range of 500 million to 1.4 billion, with some of the leaders over there in Canada being Philo Mining, Solaris, SolGold, and a number of resources that they control. Obviously, Hot Chili's resource base is comparing extremely favourably. So we see a real value gap that exists with the only non-TSX TSXV player in our peer space. So the $40 million capital raising that we've just completed was really well supported out of Australia and also overseas, with significant support seen from North America. But most importantly, when we put that capital raising together, that was all about taking out our last real key milestone, which is the purchase of Cortadera itself. We had one remaining payment that was due in 1 year's time of 15 million US, or roughly 20 million Australian, and look, the asset has grown so rapidly, and we're really sitting on a world-class discovery here that there was a significant interest in taking out that final ownership payment which we'll be making immediately once we close this raising in the coming week or two. So that's some colour on the reason for the raising. Outside of the purchase of Cortadera, the rest of the money is going into really continue our aggressive resource growth drilling program, and also now to start stepping out and start testing some very exciting growth potential in what looks like an opportunity to unlock a cluster of high-grade porphyry targets in and around our two key assets at Productora and Cortadera. So as part of this raising, as you well said, we've now attracted the support of one of the largest mining companies in the world in Glencore, and they're as has been announced, they're coming in now as a 9.99% shareholder in Hot Chili, and that really will make them the largest shareholder in Hot Chili, and we'll be shortly welcoming their support with a board member coming onto Hot Chili's board, a technical steering committee, so we can tap in and really utilise that strong capability and experience of Glencore in developing large-scale copper assets in jurisdictions such as Chile, and really looking forward to the new relationship and our new large shareholder in Glencore. They've certainly given the company a significant endorsement on our assets. Effectively, the due diligence by the world has just been completed by one of the largest copper producers in the world, one of the largest mining companies in the world, and a really key aspect of that is we're looking forward to negotiating over the coming months a offtake arrangement for the first 8 years of our targeted 25 to 30 year mine life that we're trying to build out on the coastline. That will be for about 60% of the offtake out of our combined Costa Fuego project, and we really look at that as a significant de-risker for the company in terms of actually having a partner there to take a benchmark component on pricing of our offtake. So really a strong hedging position that the company is putting in place with the largest global trader of copper concentrates and now our largest shareholder.
Having Glencore as a strategic partner is a big feather in your cap and puts Hot Chili in the driver's seat, I would say, on the Autobahn. You've done a number of things here for shareholders that, and again, just this offtake, it's something that may be minor when you look at all the successes here, but that offtake agreement as well is just another strategic step, and it just demonstrates the business acumen and the leadership here, and I have to just give you a big kudos, sir. Switching gears, let's look at some numbers. If you would, please provide us the capital structure for Hot Chili Limited.
Look, at the moment, our pre-capital structure was about 3.1 billion shares. We'll come over the 4 billion mark at the completion of this raising. We have about 1.1 billion shares that we'll be issuing to Glencore and to the other institutional investors. We've also been able to give the shareholders of Hot Chili a slice of the capital raising at 3.2 cents. And I suppose that's sort of something really important from the board, that we wanted all of the shareholders to be able to participate at the same level of investment that Glencore and the institutional investors are coming in at, and that's certainly seen a very good response. Day 1, day 2, day 3 in the market over here in Australia. So we've not just done a raising at an 11% discount to our closing price pre-capital raising, but we've been able to get the stock to have a very positive lift after that announcement. So we're trading at around 40 or 50% higher than the issue price for the raising. So very pleased to be able to give all of our shareholders the opportunity to participate in a share purchase plan. So certainly an expanded capital structure, but capital structures work in several ways. We now really have a firm opportunity to re-rate Hot Chili into the $1 billion plus market capitalisation space, and we believe that we have the ability to do that in short order, particularly with our realignment now and being able to take hot chili into the North American market with that dual listing in the TSX, TSXV, and be able to really compare ourselves very favourably with resource bases of some of the names I've mentioned, the Oricos, the Philos, the Solarises, which have seen spectacular rises in their copper price, in their share prices in association with the lifting copper price environment. When you have a copper price environment over $4 per pound and you have an upper tier 2 copper asset that is rapidly approaching a tier 1 asset, and there's very few of those available in the world, to be able to leverage that value and to be able to come into a dual listing with Glencore on our register, we really believe that we have a significant re-rate ahead of the company, and now the ability in the market's eyes to be able to execute and transition hot chili into a large scale or a major copper producer.
In closing, sir, what would you like to say to shareholders?
Look, I'd like to thank all of our shareholders for ensuring that hot chili was one of the survivors of the last downturn in copper, to support our vision to build out a new copper player of substance globally, with the project that we're positioning in the plus 100,000 tonne per annum copper production space. Very few of those available in a world where there's very few major copper discoveries being made. So now our shareholders undoubtedly will start to reap the rewards of what has been a 13-year vision by myself and our founders to build out something that you don't see very often, and the last time the Australian stock market had anything in this space was of course Equinox Resources, and we all knew that a real key element in the re-rate of that company from a $400 million company to a $7.2 billion takeover was their ability to be able to transition into production, and most importantly was to be able to position Equinox into the North American markets at the right time. They did that in the last copper cycle, and they were able to extract that significant re-rate in valuation, and we're simply following a very well-worn path that has already been done before.
Last question, sir. What did I forget to ask?
Look, I'm sure we'll have plenty of time for further questions down the road, Morris. We've got some pretty exciting drilling results coming out of our expansion program that we'll now be able to start getting out to market now that I'm out of a blackout period following about 4 or 5 weeks of no sleep, completing the transaction that we've just announced. But most importantly, look, we've got a lot of very exciting news flow in the lead up to our dual listing in the TSXV, which is scheduled for around late October, and then shortly to follow that, hopefully a significant upgrade at our Cortadera porphyry discovery in Chile.
Mr. Easterday, it's been an absolute delight to speak with you today. Wishing you and Hot Chili Limited the absolute best, sir.
Great. Thank you, Morris.
The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice, or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.